Now, if you thought the story got in the way with Tony Hawk's Underground, let me spin you a tale about Tony Hawk's Underground 2. This game came out again a year later, so this is 2004 now. And this was the game where they got very heavily invested in the Jackass stuff. So Bam Margera and his family are all over this game. And yeah. It basically, I mean, this is again New Jersey, so this is the same half pipe as in Underground 1. But yes, it's about to turn into a Jackass Light. I can tell you, I picked this game up again at the time, and I thought the story was kind of dumb.
Did you ever think the last word you were going to hear would be? Hello, butt nuggets.
Real funny, guys.
What's happening, fellas? In case you're wondering why Bam and I invited you here tonight, let us enlighten you.
World Destruction Tour. Around the world sick as hell skating competition that Tony and I threw together and you, Jagoffs, are going to compete in.
Tony Hawk's Underground 2
We're splitting into
probably should be called Bam Margera's Tony Hawk's Underground 2.
The captain of my team will be... Oh, Phil.
Damn it, Bam! The tire jacks ran right up my...
We're going global, baby. Racking up points for some balls to the wall skating.
And some ridiculous stunts and challenges.
Like that. 50 points if you get someone to hose their pants.
Come on, that's sweat. Their pants.
Woo! And 20 bonus points if you think there's luggage in the trunk.
I just had a fruit salad, all right?
There's gonna be no cameras, no press, and no crazed fans. Just us embarking on a round-the-world party.
Yeah.
Oh, and one more thing. The losing team pays for the entire trip.
Booyah!
You better take your broke ass to the bank.
So if everyone's down with the program, I say it's choosing time. Mike V, you're with me.
Good choice, Birdman.
Only 2 left. You gotta pick one.
Do I want the noob? Or do I want Paulie, Wheels of Fury Ryan, the 10-year-old skating madman? No more grinding on wood chippers, huh, Paulie?
That's right, baby.
Come on, Bam, make up your mind.
What's there to the side?
Are you serious? You can't decide between me and a kid in a body cast?
You want some of me? Bring it on, bitch!
I like that. He's fired up. This kid's got game. I take Paulie.
This game's not the most sensitive thing in the world.
Kid, these guys suck. You're with me.
Ladies, let the first annual World Destruction Tour begin!
Yeah, look like my sister.
Yeah, pretty tasteless.
Before we get rolling, you should cruise by the training area to brush up on your moves. Some of the other fellas are also there to teach you some sweet new tricks. Once you're ready to head out, come see me.
Right, so we're back in another warehouse. Warehouse 2, I guess. Is that what it's called? So, new features in Tony Hawk's Underground 2. If you bail, you can mash the triangle button and smash your board. Which I think pretty much sums up what this game is all about. It's not really about skateboarding, it's about sick tricks and edgy Jackass. I'm a fan of Jackass, so it's not like I'm saying this out of spite. But I just don't... It didn't really gel with me in this game. You actually try and bail. There you go. So you mashed... Jesus Christ. More time than that. Mash triangle. And you get a start to a combo, basically. Because it will give you 2,400 points and you can spin that into a grind. Caveman's still in here, so you can still get off your board, walk around, get back on your board. The grind mid-tricks and manual mid-tricks are still here. I'm going to try my hardest not to bail. Right, okay, let's go through the basic training. Manual through the cones, alright. Done. Grind. Done. No comply. Alright. Boneless. Kickflip.
Nice job.
I learned the basics. Can I go now? How many skateboards are over here?
You ready to head out, huh? I want you to try one thing before.
Get special. So you can do some slow motion. And then for some reason it asked me to land it. Let's get on with it. Let's see. Because I think the levels in Underground 2 are not a problem, really. I think it's what they ask you to do in the levels. Increasingly, it has less to do with actual pulling off of tricks. And there was moments later on in the game that I remember being
gas station burritos plus a van crammed with dudes.
Obscure and
Like
kind of
90-mile-an-hour Dutch
tricky.
oven. So you ready to get rolling? Start out by knocking out the stuff that'll rack us up some serious points.
So you're also earning points because obviously you're on the World Destruction Tour. So
Come and see me when you're ready to move on.
Rodney Mullen, let's go. I know where the special guest is. He's down here.
Hey, you found me. You want me to help you out? Nope. You ever seen a skate park that could do 120 down the freeway? How's this sound? I've been dying to bust it on this jacked up scooter I put together.
So now I've unlocked him, I can actually use him as a playable character. But before we do that, let's do some actual gameplay. This is an interesting one. Little ideas like they've always had the skill challenges, or you know, do the tricks I say. But little things like do them on the beat. It's not a particularly revolutionary idea, or in some ways, not even a particularly great idea. But you could tell they were. I think at this point, putting out a game a year. Jesus. Putting out a game a year was starting to show. They were starting to run dry on ideas, which I think is why they lean so heavily on the Jackass stuff, because it differentiates it from the previous games without making massive gameplay changes, but you still end up with weird. I mean, the driving was bad enough in Underground, but I'll show you some of the. Yes. Okay. So let's go do that now. These little things won't let you grind them off, but you can use that guy's scooter. And switch to him.
What's happening, Slick?
So he'll get new goals. So just kill the grime blockers. Is what we're gonna go do now. But yeah, it controls like a skateboard, but it's basically a scooter, and he has his own set of tricks. It's kind of neat, but it's nothing particularly revolutionary. I don't think anything lasting. It's one of those things that provides respite for 5 minutes, as opposed to make the entire game feel fresh. Where are the church steps? I didn't really describe what I was supposed to be doing there. Try that again. Oh, it does say in the top right.
Wow, man, that thing's hot. Can you do me a favor and scoop up my wheelchair?
Yeah, the story kind of bums me out in this game, I'm going to be honest. I don't feel like Jackass was ever quite as cruel as some of the stuff in this game. It just seems puerile for the most part. As somebody who enjoys Jackass quite a lot, this game is not as good as Jackass. So, luckily, as well as there being a story mode, which, I mean, that's just... I'll do a couple more goals before I switch to that, but there is also a second mode, much in the same way there was in the previous game. 10,000 points! Oh, okay, I've got another 50 seconds. I better do something half decent. I need more space than that, it turns out. Go here. Trust me to be able to set the cannons on fire while the objective's not active. I can't do it now, can I? Yep, so the ball's now not on fire. Why don't you do it? You have to... That's the problem, is I do these things by accident and I can't remember how I... Do you have to do a trick over the... Does it grind the bucket? Can you grind that thing? There we go. So I like the fact that there are organic objectives. You can do it of your own accord. You don't have to talk to the guide to get that objective to kind of spark. That's kind of nice. A little bit of variety. Because I know it's the point of objective in this game where you'd say, talk to him, say, can you grind those things? And you grind them and then that's the end of it. Some level deformation in the classic Tony Hawk style. Okay, but apart from that, let's bail out of this and go look at the classic mode. Yes, there's also create a goal mode, which I'm not going to bother looking at because it kind of fits in with the create your own map and then create your own goals to go in those maps. Like get this score or get this combo or get a high enough score on this map. Oh, cool. So you actually get to play Barcelona rather than Boston. Classic mode. So is this the one I think it is, or is it American Wasteland that has the the actual... No, it's this one. They made a Tony Hawk 3 style thing in the maps they've got for the main story. Alright, let's see. Oh, I can never do the combo letters. There you go, there's your 6th score. Still failing combo though. Right, let me... Ah! I do find these levels quite fiddly. There's a lot of stuff in the way. Because they're always a little bit more simple, especially in the PS1. They didn't have the advantage of tons of processing power, so they couldn't just put loads of stuff everywhere. The likelihood of me getting skate here is very low. So I can't even get S. God damn it. Oh, I got the A though. Metallica's Whiplash in the background. Wow, I forgot this was on the soundtrack. Yeah, as always though, the soundtracks in these games, impeccable. They get less and less impeccable as they go, but Metallica's Whiplash on your skateboarding game is pretty good going. Can I go in that door? Just realised. Yep. And use nothing. No power there whatsoever. So yeah, you can basically go through and do what you did in the old Tony Hawk games. There's one more interesting thing about Tony Hawk's Underground 2, which is that they ported it eventually to the PSP as a launch game. Which I thought was super cool at the time, because I loved the idea of having... Like, they'd done portable Tony Hawk games before, but they were for the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance, which were consoles that couldn't recreate the experience properly. They had their own... high score modes in here as well. They had their own kind of feel to them. They were isometric and, you know, only 2 buttons and a D-pad. There's very little you can do. Whereas Underground 2 on the PSP is more of a faithful recreation of this PS2 game. So let's take a quick look at that. So this is the PSP version, Tony Hawk's Underground 2 Remix. I'm back in the story mode again. I've played a little bit further along. As you can see, graphically, it's not as good. But with bearing in mind here, this is a PSP we're talking about. So I'm kind of hard-pressed to complain too much. Because up until this point, the GBA was the most graphically impressive console, handheld console, that existed. So to have a game like this on a handheld, it's kind of the same way I feel about Zelda. Because at some point, you haven't played a game like Zelda like portably before. And I don't mean portable as in, you know, a laptop. I mean more a... I need to switch to the Pro character. Because I think, you know, yes, you can play games on a gaming laptop, but those things are too grand and heavy and expensive and heavy. But there's something about the Switch that makes those games more accessible. It actually legitimizes playing a full fat console game. And unlike a lot of PSP games did not justify being on the PSP. Resistance Retribution, and basically anytime anybody made a third person or a first person shooter with one analog stick. Right, okay. They've clearly cut this game down a little bit, but yeah, like I say, it's better than the Game Boy Advance Tony Hawk games. I didn't realise how bad the frame rate was actually. It's kind of chunky. Didn't look this bad on the little screen, that's for sure. Okay, so that's how I get my 720 catapult launch. I can find that door again. Around here somewhere. There it is. It's an interesting port. Once again, I think it doesn't really hold up unless you... I don't know. There's an element of me... I've got a PSP Go, and a game like this would be ideal for that sort of a device, in the same way that, you know, Final Fantasy VI is perfect for a GBA, or, you know, just having a little tiny... or Game Boy Micro, sorry. A little tiny thing with a game like this that you can always charge and keep with you. It's quite handy. Although, God only knows, I bet this isn't available to buy from the PlayStation Store for PSP games, so you may just be stuck with whatever PSP you can find. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. I just kind of wanted to mention it in passing because I picked it up out of curiosity, because it was one of those games I never got around to trying. It was one of the reasons why I wanted a PSP in the first place, and then by the time I got one, it kind of just stayed at the price it was, and it wasn't until very recently that I found it super cheap. So, yeah, that's Tony Hawk's Underground 2 anyway. Next time we reconvene with Tony Hawk, we'll be into the American Wasteland world.